Another football season complete. It's time to score some awards for football on every level, from the national contenders to every level where young men play the game. The game is football. And tonight, football's first fraternity gathers to honor all those who make this the world's greatest sport. From Atlantic City's crown jewel, the Tropicana Resort and Casino, it's the Maxwell Football Club's 78th Annual Awards Gala.
Beautiful showroom at the Tropicana Casino and Resort. Over 2,000 members of the Maxwell Football Club have gathered tonight to honor the achievers for the year gone by. Hello, everyone. I'm Lou Tilley, and I'll be your co-host, and I'll be inside the locker room to talk with the stars of football like Jim Kelly and Marcus Mariota and Ron Jaworski and more. But first, our star of the evening and our MC, a great football player in her own right with Pop Warner, and from ESPN, Miss Susie Colbert.
Thank you, Lou. Hi, everyone, and welcome. And can I first just say, I love being a part of this club. The first football fraternity, it's old school and hardcore, and it honors those who excel at every level of the game. And it also makes a difference. We all know what sets football apart is team. It's the ultimate team game. So we acknowledge that for every award winner tonight, there's a whole team behind every one of them that made it possible for them to be here. And that's what's so great about the Maxwell Club. It's more than what happens on the field. It's about reaching out and giving back and being a part of the community. Lou mentioned some of the stars that you'll see here tonight. I might be just a little bit NFL biased, so let me just say that one of my favorite NFL head coaches is here. Bruce Arians is the NFL Coach of the Year. He waited a long time to get his opportunity to be a head coach. Man, has he made an impact. He is everything that is good about the game. And J.J. Watt is the Defensive Player of the Year in the NFL. Few give back to the community and honor the game the way J.J. does, so I'll look forward to hearing from J.J. Watt as well. So with that, let's get the show rolling, and maybe we can wrap things up before Chip Kelly makes another change to the roster. It's time to celebrate America's oldest football club, football's first fraternity since 1935. And you can see the reflection right here in this room of the popularity of the game and how it's grown. The biggest crowd that we've ever had, 2,000 strong, so we thank you all for being here tonight. The Maxwell Club has grown and evolved right along with it. Here's a brief look back at our history.
Since 1935, one organization has been dedicated to honoring the great game of football. One club has been synonymous with football excellence, the Maxwell Football Club. The first and only club in America dedicated to recognizing achievement in football at all levels, pro, college, and high school.
The whole concept of Maxwell, it's about the dream. It's about education. It's about excellence. It's about achieving goals.
It's about football excellence, but we like to think it's about good citizenship, academic achievement, people that are real student athletes, people that really represent the best that this game has to offer on the field and off.
Maxwell is so great in what they do, especially not only with the pro guys and the college guys, but I'm really proud of Maxwell because of what they do with the high school kids and the scholarships that are out, and the recognition just for great athletes, but great student athletes, great young men that get out and get involved in the community.
Now in its 78th year, the first, the one, the Maxwell Football Club.
78 years in the making, the Maxwell Football Club continues to grow and expand with the times. Broadcasting, television, and the media have become almost synonymous with the game itself, and we honor those who have helped football rise to the top. Can't say that without thinking of Ed Sable, the founder of NFL Films, who passed away last month, along with his son, Steve. They changed the way we watch the game. To present our first award tonight, please welcome my colleague and dear friend and my favorite NFL running back, the factor back, Merrill Hodge, and our host tonight, Tony Rodeo of the Tropicana.
To start the night off, Tony actually would like to say a few words.
Thank you, Merrill. First of all, on behalf of the whole Tropicana family, I just want to say how honored and privileged we are to have this event here, and we hope it's the first of many, many years to come, because we think this is just a wonderful fit for us. And again, welcome to everybody, and thank you for having me here.
Jaws, you're my dear friend, and your team has done an amazing job in putting a tremendous award ceremony together. From Coates to Kelly, those that are sitting in this audience tonight are going to be moved by great people and great awards. And tonight we get to start with the broadcasters. The great broadcasters become part of the fabric of the games that they cover, especially those who call the game. In the past, the Maxwell Club has honored the likes of Brent Musburger, Chris Collinsworth, Chris Berman, and my personal favorite, Susie Colbert. Tonight we honor a pair of legends, two men who work in chemistry when they call a game. As you watch it live on TV, you know them very well.
After 10 years together, it's hard to separate the two.
The jitterbug, isn't that what they're doing?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Gary Danielson had a fine career as a quarterback at Purdue, and then for 15 seasons as a pro. His 5-touchdown performance against the Vikings with Detroit in 1978 is still a Lions record. In the booth since 1986, football fans will know they're listening to a Danielson analysis because no one but no one is as straightforward and honest.
In this football game, it did pop up. It seemed like the safeties for Mississippi State were a half step slow.
You'll also recognize the man's voice to follow.
Got it. Oh, that might have been 6. Sims will run, and he's going to be knocked out of bounds.
In a now legendary career that started in his home state of Texas, Vern Lundquist was the radio voice of the Dallas Cowboys, as well as Bowling for Dollars, before the networks helped make him a national treasure. In one 3-week stretch alone, Lundquist and Danielson became part of the fabric of college and Auburn football history.
Oh, my gosh! Oh, my goodness! Oh, no!
I've never seen anything like this.
Gary said as we went off the air that night, there will never be a finish to a college football game to equal that one. And so we waited a full 2 weeks.
They're going to try a field goal?
Saban sent a redshirt freshman out to attempt a 57-yard field goal.
On the way! No, returned by Chris Davis. Davis goes left. Davis gets a block. Davis has another block. Chris Davis. No flags. Touchdown. Auburn. An answered prayer.
And that's just for our game of football. And tonight, the Maxwell Football Club and the Tropicana Hotel and Casino give their award for broadcasting excellence to Gary Danielson and...
Maybe. Yes, sir!
Vern Lundquist.
I asked Gary if he would please go first in case I fell. So the greatest accomplishment thus far in the evening is that we both got down safely. I first stepped in front of a television camera with a microphone and got paid to speak on Labor Day weekend of 1963. I'll save you the math, 51 and a half years ago. I first broadcast a network college football game in 1974. I've never counted, but in the subsequent 41 years, I'm almost certain that I have been paired with more than 40 partners. I want to spend a couple of minutes to talk a little bit about the best. Gary and I were paired together by CBS in 2006. We are going to begin our 10th season in September in Atlanta with Louisville and Auburn, Sammy. And in all the years that I've worked with all these various people, I've never seen anybody who brings both the passion and the preparation to a telecast on Saturday afternoon. Countless hours of watching tape, countless hours of studying clips, and I promise you this, when Gary expresses an opinion, and he does quite often, it's never ad lib. It's always well-researched and well thought out. This is a tremendous honor to be named the Broadcasters Award for the Maxwell Club. But the evening is enhanced for me because I get to share it with this guy. Gary?
We all know I wouldn't have won if you weren't here. I mean, let's be honest, okay? You know, when Vern called me and said, we're going to win this thing, he goes, you want to go? And I go, we won Broadcaster of the Year? And he goes, yes. I go, is Kanye West going to be there? Because I'm not sure that this is going to be working out. They've said Vern and I are like a marriage. And in a lot of ways, that's true. You know, it's been a long marriage. In fact, Vern does say one line that I get often from my wife, stay on your side of the bed. And in broadcasting, what he's saying is Vern has a role, and he's great at his role. Vern is a national treasure. There's nothing I'm more proud of in my career in doing the SEC. We've had a great run of 9 years, an unprecedented run in this league. But the due that has finally come to this man in his long career at the end has been long awaited and much deserved. Thank you, Maxwell, and I'll just follow along this guy for as long as I can. Thank you.
Tonight's lineup: Watt, Mariota, Kelly, Holtz, Arians, Mullen, Wright, Reed, Jaworski, and more. It's the Maxwells.
Hi, Lou Tilley in the locker room. Hello, everyone. I'm with the president, and now, I understand, the mayor of Philadelphia. It's not everything else. Say hello to Ron Jaworski, the president of the Maxwell Football Club, folks.
Thank you, Lou. Thank you. It's such a great day, and first of all, I can't imagine Tiny Maxwell in 1935 thinking that this would be the event that he thought of. It is an amazing event, 78 years later, that we honor football at all levels. And clearly, you know, here in Atlantic City, a Philadelphia-based crowd, Chip Kelly just turning the National Football League world upside down, and of course, honoring Marcus Mariota here tonight, a very special, special evening for the Maxwell Football Club, because you folks in the audience, the folks watching, the millions at home on television, you're going to see one class act. Now, I'm not talking about football. I'm talking about what embodies the Maxwell Football Club, the character of Marcus Mariota.
Very nice, Charles, and congratulations on your 20-year anniversary, replacing Reds Bagnell as the president of the Maxwell Football Club, an all-time record here tonight. Ron, you'll be back later on to present the Maxwell Award and the special Reds Bagnell Award to Lou Holtz. But right now, let's go back to Susie Colbert and more of our program. Susie.
Before Ron was the president, that spot belonged to Reds Bagnell for 21 years. If you don't remember him as a player, he was a legendary single-wing tailback who took snaps from concrete Chuck Bednarik to lead the University of Pennsylvania to the top of the college football world in the 1940s. Reds was a legend. He won the Maxwell Award himself. We honor special contributors to the game in his name. Here to present our next award is one of the owners of the Philadelphia Soul and a great friend of football, Cosmo Denicola.
Hello, everyone. What a great night it is. Tonight, we're here to recognize and honor one of the most influential figures in professional football, a legendary agent who has helped shape today's sports business landscape. Throughout his 40-year career, he has secured over $3 billion. It sounds like Jaws money, right? In player contracts, and has worked as a guiding force in helping athletes give back by serving as positive role models. Very important thing in today's NFL, right? To my friend, my partner, and the man known for showing his clients the money, Lee Steinberg, tonight we honor you, an industry pioneer, a humanitarian, and the greatest sports agent of all time.
Few have had such impact on the sport of football. In one remarkable 7-year stretch, Lee Steinberg represented 6 of the #1 picks in the NFL draft. He's had 8 overall and 60 other first-rounders. While the sport has grown in stature and wealth, it has also grown in exposure. And the worth of an athlete's representative goes far beyond the dollars in his contract. Lee Steinberg redefined that.
Show me the money!
So much so, Jerry Maguire is said to be based on Lee Steinberg. What the movie fails to capture is the reality of Steinberg's lifelong commitment to a reciprocal agreement. Each Steinberg athlete is required to sign a contract committing time and dollars to the communities, schools, and routes they represent. Leveraging the popularity of successful clients like Steve Young, Troy Aikman, and Ben Roethlisberger, Lee Steinberg is credited with helping to raise more than $600 million for charities worldwide. His world-famous pre-Super Bowl party continued in Phoenix this past February, and on that occasion, Steinberg and his new partner unveiled the Steinberg-Denicola Humanitarian Awards, and among those honored, New York Jets owner Woody Johnson. And now, a winner of the Reds Bagnell Award for special contributions to football, the Maxwell Football Club honors Lee Steinberg.
Wow, I'm in a room filled with people who love football, my type of people. I want to thank the Maxwell Club so much for showing me the trophy. And my dad had 2 core values. One was to treasure relationships, especially family. And the second was to try to make a meaningful difference in changing the world in a positive way and helping people who couldn't help themselves. The other thing I tried to do is be a steward of the game and to understand the public doesn't want an unremitting diet of athletic misbehavior, contract hassles, and the rest of it, and to make sure that I was a steward of the game. Part of that is making sure that when player safety is threatened, like with concussions, that we're active in trying to do something about it. So I've tried to change the conception of what an agent is and what they can be, and I'm so thankful to the Maxwell Club for giving me this forum. Thanks.
Ahead, Andre Reed tosses the ball to Jim Kelly in the fight of his life. It's the Maxwells.
From the 4-time AFC champion Buffalo Bills, here to present the Tom Brookshire Spirit Award, please welcome Andre Reed.
Wow, what an honor it is here to be here tonight. Among these such great athletes that are being recognized for their athletic achievements on the playing field as well as off. I congratulate you all and hope you have continued success throughout your journey. I'm here tonight to present the Tom Brookshire Spirit Award to a guy, a man, that I've known for the past almost 30 years now. Yeah, that's a long time. This guy epitomizes what hard work's about. Perseverance and the will never to give in. Any obstacle he has faced in life. His motto, Kelly Tough, resonates in his family, his teammates, and his friends. There's nobody more important to my success in the NFL than Jim. He is one of the reasons, if not the reason, why I was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2014. I'm happy to call him my friend, my teammate, and a fellow Hall of Famer.
Coming out of the University of Miami, Jim Kelly tore through the old USFL as the league's cover boy with eye-popping numbers. When that league folded, he bundled up to play in Buffalo, where he reached legendary levels of success.
I was blessed. I had everything around me, but now as part of a quarterback is the mindset, being able to put people in the right position and making the right adjustments when you have to.
The Hall of Fame called in 2002, but by then his focus had shifted to his young son, Hunter.
Well, the toughest person I've ever met in my life is my hero, my soldier, my son, Hunter. I love you, buddy.
Born 5 years earlier with a rare disease that would claim Hunter's life in 2005 at the age of 8. But in June of 2013, Jim Kelly was blindsided by another battle, his own with cancer. First, it was found in his jaw, requiring many surgeries, radiation, and chemotherapy for more than a year before doctors found cancer again, this time in his skeletal system. In November of 2014, the doctor said Jim was winning that battle as well, and for his spirit and his battles off and on the field. The Maxwell Football Club presents its Tom Brookshire Spirit Award tonight to Jim Kelly.
Thank you. Thank you. First of all, I want to thank the good Lord for allowing me to be here today. Second, I would like to thank Andre Reed. The reason I wear a gold jacket, the reason I'm in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, one of the main reasons is because number 83. His work ethic is unmatched. And Andre, I love you, man. 12 plus 83 will always equal 6. Third, I would like to thank all the Buffalo Bill fans and the Philly fans. I have to say Philly because they're all the ones in a green, Kelly green vest that came down from Buffalo to join us. So Pat Sharon and the boys, thank you. Lastly, I would like to congratulate all the Maxwell Award winners tonight. It's not about me. It's not about them. It's about who you surround yourself with. Quality people. When I was in the hospital, not one day, not 1 hour went by when my wife, my daughters, my brothers, my friends, when they walked into my hospital room, they walked in with a smile on their face. They walked in with a good attitude. And I just urge anybody out there, I don't care if they have cancer or they're sick, when you walk in to talk to them, when you walk in to see them, walk in with a positive attitude. We all go through things in our life. It's what you do about it. It's what counts. Be that positive influence. I know how many times where I felt really, really low. But my daughter, when she walked in, Daddy, how are you doing? The positive attitude, what that did for me. How she made my todays better, boy, what she did that day. And she made my tomorrows better on the things that she said each and every time she saw me. I owe so much to my family. There's so many people out there that have sent me well wishes, cards, prayer cards, emails. People talk about Kelly tough. That's all fine and dandy. I grew up in a family of 6 boys. I had to be Kelly tough. But to be honest with you, the physical toughness comes with it. But for me, I needed the mental toughness. I needed that inspiration. People say I'm an inspiration to them. I want them to know how much an inspiration they are to me. To make me fight each and every day when I didn't think I was going to make it. When I was told that had less than a 10% chance of making it. I knew, number one, I had to look into the air and thank the good Lord. And I know one day I will see my son again. But to be honest, for everybody out there, remember, when you see a sick one, when you walk into a hospital, be upbeat. You don't understand how that makes us feel. It makes our tomorrows better by what you do today. So on behalf of my family, my wife, my 2 daughters, and my little buddy in the sky, thank you all so very much, and I'm humbled by this award. Thank you, and God bless.
Jim Kelly and Andre Reed. The Maxwell Football Club is based in Philadelphia in the tri-state region of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware, and honors the Tri-State College Coach of the Year. Here to introduce this year's winner is a former Tri-State Player of the Year himself from his days at Temple and with the Super Bowl New England Patriots, Dan Klecko.
Nothing like following Jim Kelly. That's great. Thanks, guys. That's it. It's great to see Jim doing great, and I've heard nothing but awesome stories from my dad about him, and God bless Jim. It's great to have you out here tonight. Like most of our Maxwell winners tonight, Andy Talley isn't only a legend on the field, he's a legend off of it. Andy has not only lasted 30 years at Villanova, he's thrived. Under his leadership, thousands of players, fans, and alumni have benefited, as have the hundreds that he has helped through his foundation. And he has great things ahead of him, maybe as soon as this year. Let's look at the film.
This was his 30th season on the sidelines at Villanova, and Coach Andy Talley's team looked on track to equal their own high watermark, 2009's national championship. They opened the season on the road and lost in 2 overtimes to Syracuse in the Carrier Dome by a single point. But then the Wildcats of Villanova ran wild and won 11 of their next 12 games before bowing out in the national championship playoffs in the semifinals. Andy Talley is now a 3-time Maxwell winner. And off the field, the coach who had taken his team to the playoffs 11 times continues to build a legacy as well with his Get in the Game and Save a Life National Bone Marrow Registration Program.
And this is our 3rd, and this is our huge fundraiser. This is the one that we take all the money and go out and try and spread the word about bone marrow transplants.
The Maxwell Football Club proudly presents its Tri-State Coach of the Year to Villanova's Andy Talley.
Good evening. Obviously, with a great season like we had this year, I'm just a very, very small part of a terrific coaching staff. And all the head coaches who come up here and tell you about this offense or this defense, you really can't get it done without a great staff. And we have one at Villanova, and I've been fortunate because they've been there for several years. I remember when I came to Villanova in 1984, they had dropped football. It was Howie Long's last year in 1981. They were without football for 4 years. No team, no players, no coaches. But the Maxwell Football Club was there. Reds Bagnell was available, Tommy Brookshire, many of the great names that you saw up there tonight were there to help me. And I think I spoke at the Maxwell Club luncheon more than any coach in the history of college football. And I was thankful that I had that opportunity. So this award really goes to our staff, our players, our president, and the administration at Villanova. Thank you.
Ahead, Lou Holtz in our locker room, Dan Mullen's Bulldogs, and Auburn's in the house. It's the Maxwells.
Welcome back into the locker room. I'm Lou Tilley, and here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Lou Holtz.
Thank you.
They still call you Dr. Lou, or are they done with that shtick? Is that one going?
No.
Hold your mic up, Lou.
I
You're a
have,
broadcaster now.
You know, I have 14 honorary doctorate degrees. The only way I could get one, but just to be here with all the great athletes is really quite an evening.
Lou, you'll be honored, and you'll actually be the keynote speaker of our evening at the end of things, and you've always been noted as a marvelous public speaker. It may be the key to your great success in coaching, great game day coach also, but what a recruiter. You entertained, you actually used to do magic tricks and stuff for the moms, didn't you, in your day?
Well, you know, in television, you just talk till you think of something to say. You know, if you talk long enough, something will come to your mind. But as a speaker, there are three things you want to do. You want to be honest, you want to be brief, and you want to be seated. That's what they want to hear. Just three things and sit down.
That's great. That's great. Lou, you've been 20 years now as a broadcaster. Later, we're going to take a look at that memorable game between your Fighting Irish of Notre Dame and the University of Miami, where a scuffle broke out. Brent Musburger was calling the action before the game. And in the locker room, you had a special something to say to your team. Don't give it away right now.
But I got to tell you, we have a luncheon before that game, and I go there, and the priest gets up to give the invocation. He looked over at me and said, Coach, I'm a Catholic priest. I'm the team chaplain for Miami. I'm up here to beat Notre Dame, and I want you to know that God doesn't care who wins this game. And I didn't say anything. When I got up, I looked at him. I said, I agree with you, Father, that God doesn't care who wins the game, but I want to promise you his mother does. So, you know, if you understand that, we went from there.
You know, on all those years when your NC State Wolfpack was beating my Wake Forest team into the turf, it was hard to like you. But I do now.
But I want to tell you, this guy played middle linebacker. Wake Forest came up. We had a good football team in NC State, and they upset us. And initially, I was really upset, but now I'm happy because you finally have one game you can talk about. That's it, one game. But I'm glad we gave it to you.
Dr. Lou. And you can watch him every Saturday for many, many, many years, and we'll look forward to hearing from you at
Well,
the end of the show.
this was the 5th year. This was the 5th anniversary of my last year in television. So for 5 years, I've been saying no more, but I think I am going to retire. I really need to step aside and let younger people. I'd like to leave when people say, why are you leaving, rather than when are you leaving? So we'll go from there.
Love you, Lou. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll hear you later in the show. Right now, let's go back to Susie Culver. Susie?
No, Lou, don't leave us. Don't leave us. The Maxwell Football Club also honored the newest winner of the Uplifting Athletes Award for the year. And this award goes to a college player whose team participates in the program run by college football players themselves. And they participate in their communities to battle rare disease. It was founded by former Penn State receiver Scott Shirley. And once again, the Maxwell Football Club is honored to share their latest story of success.
Marshall's going to unload. He's going to go deep. He's got Sammy Coates, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Auburn! Touchdown, Auburn!
Sammy Coates has caught the eye of the NFL. The lightning-fast receiver with the pro size out of Auburn impressed them at the NFL Combine. But nothing is as impressive as what his favorite teammate says about Sammy.
Strength. Sammy has it, and I have it.
The two are a special team, you see. It began back in 2013 when Sammy was walking off the field after a big win, and he saw Kenzie Ray, who was there as a guest of the Auburn dance team.
Not knowing nothing about her, not knowing what's going on in her life. Just looking at her eyes, I seen something special with her.
Sammy has always had an eye for special people, ever since his own father passed away when Sammy was just 11. And Kenzie has always had a special eye for Auburn football, especially when the doctors diagnosed her with a very aggressive strain of leukemia.
I gave him my green bracelet with pink on it, and it says, praying for Kenzie.
When she gave it to me, I told her I'd never take it off.
That luck and the bracelet was put to the ultimate test this past year.
She was very sick. She had pneumonia. She didn't have an immune system because she had just finished a real tough round of chemotherapy. They had told us that night that she might not make it. I called Sammy and let him know what was going on, and within 3 hours he was there.
I went back there, it was bad. She had tubes in her running through. She can't talk. She don't know what's going on around. It's one of the hardest things to see, but you still see fight in her, because that's one little girl that's stronger than anybody I ever met.
He was in there holding her hand, praying, and she's on a ventilator, and it was scared me, and I'm her mother, to see her that way. And all he could say to me was, it's going to be okay. She's going to be okay. She's going to make it.
None of the War Eagles' victories could touch that night. For Sammy, the challenge will now go on in the NFL in a new uniform. For Kenzie, the challenge is every day. But this team will stay together forever. The Uplifting Athlete of the Year for 2014, the Maxwell Football Club is proud to introduce Auburn's Sammy Coates.
So let's ask Sammy to stand up. Sammy Coates is here, along with his lovely girlfriend. Taking a break from his preparation for the NFL draft. And Kenzie Ray is here as well. Kenzie is here with her parents, right over here. Congratulations to Kenzie and Sammy. This is what the Maxwell Club is really all about.
Coming up, the right choice for the Bednarik Award. And Marcus Mariota is in the locker room. It's the Maxwell. The Maxwell Football Club also honors the high schools. Earlier, the Jim Henry Scholar Athlete of the Year Award for the Tri-State region went to Kyle Shermer of LaSalle College High School in Philadelphia. The 6'4" record-setting quarterback with the sensational grades is the son of Eagles offensive coordinator Pat Shermer. Kyle is headed to Vanderbilt. And former Eagle Vince Papali and current Viking Sharif Floyd handed off the Maxwell National High School Player of the Year Award to the hulking defensive tackle from Westover, Georgia, Trenton Thompson. This 6'4", 311-pounder and a game breaker at that will stay in state and pull on a helmet for the Georgia Bulldogs next year.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome another longtime member of the Maxwell Football Club, as well as a member of our nation's Congress. If he couldn't get anything through, who could? Former NFL All-Pro tackle John Runyon.
Thanks, Lou. It's an honor to be back in everyone's presence. I can tell you, spending 4 years in Washington, D.C., and dealing with the negativity in the world, and being the presence of an awards banquet like this, to talk about the great people in football. It's refreshing and truly gets my blood boiling a little bit. But here to present the George Munger College Coach of the Year. You know, going through college athletics myself and having a son that is actually going to be attending the University of Michigan, I think when you look at a college coach, you look at more something in the lines of a mentor, a father figure, someone that's going to change and mold a young man. And it is hard to find those people. And the ones that are good at it are around for a very long time. So with that being said, the road to success in coaching is a long road with many turns. And in Dan Mullen's case, he rode shotgun with a trusted friend to great success before finally finding his own ride. So let's take a look back at the great career of Dan Mullen.
Rare is the shortcut to the top in college coaching. His high school ball was played in New Hampshire, and then Dan Mullen played tight end at Tiny Ursinus outside of Philadelphia before hitting the tangled trail to the top in coaching. At Notre Dame as a grad assistant, he met another assistant coach, and they began traveling together. That coach was Urban Meyer. Then together they found fame at Utah, where Mullen guided Alex Smith. And again, together at Florida. Mullen is credited with the legendary success of Tim Tebow. And then Dan Mullen stood alone in the spotlight for the first time as the head coach at Mississippi State beginning in 2008.
Trying to anticipate it, instead of trusting it, you aimed a little bit right there. Just trust it and let it go.
Rarely a serious contender in the brutal Southeastern Conference, the Bulldogs started taking their bites at the big time, and in 2014 broke through to the very top not only in their league, but in the national rankings. With an opening win at number 8 LSU, Mullen's team followed up by beating number 6 Texas A&M,
breaking a tackle is Fred Brown to the house.
When a week later, they knocked off number 2 Auburn and gained the nation's number 1 ranking. With quarterback Dan Prescott, a year-long contender for the Maxwell Award, returning in the season ahead, Dan Mullen's Mississippi State figures to stay on top. The Maxwell Football Club was proud to award its George Munger Award as the National College Coach of the Year to Dan Mullen.
Thank you. This is a pretty special a night for me, the opportunity to come here. I thank the Maxwell Club for this award. It's been a very long journey from playing at Ursinus College, lifeguarding in the Seattle City Beach Patrol right down the street for a couple years. Great times. To the long coaching journey of being a graduate assistant for 7 years, an assistant coach after that for 8 years, and now 6 years as a head coach. It's very, very great honor to be up here. Obviously, football's the ultimate team game, and it's great to receive this award for Mississippi State University, for our players, all of our assistant coaches, our administration, everyone that believed in what we were trying to build as a program and as a university. When I got to Mississippi State, I was always told what you can't do there. That's a program you can't win at, a program that'll never win. And we were able to take a program that people said that and turn it around to get on top through hard work, sacrifice, and commitment. And if you believe in that, you can accomplish anything you want in this world. And I think I'm proof of that, to go from Little Ursinus College to the Southeastern Conference, that through hard work, sacrifice, and commitment, you can accomplish anything you want. Finally, I want to thank really a person as deserving of this award as I am, our co-head coach, my beautiful wife, Megan, who, as everybody that ever coach knows, you better have an unbelievable coach's wife, because not only does she do an amazing job raising 2 kids at home, she does an unbelievable job of raising 85 children out there on the football field every day. They call her Mama Mullen down in Starkville, all the players on our team. And she is definitely as deserving of this award as I am, as my co-head coach and the love of my life. And I thank you for everything, the support you've given me to allow me to be here and live my dreams. Thank you so much.
Ahead, Jim Kelly in the locker room, and Bruce Arians, an overnight success at 60. It's the Maxwells.